Boelter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Nate Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you on this Happy Blue Friday. It's another exciting weekend, of course, with the Seahawks going prime time against the Arizona Cardinals in an NFC West. Huge matchup for the Seattle Seahawks. Can't wait to get into this and other news around the league. But before we do, and before I bring the roundtable up, first I want to remind everybody, please, if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and that way you won't miss a single episode that I release. And so without further ado, here we go, guys. Here we go. This is the NorbCam Roundtable, and here are the gentlemen here. Everyone's together this time. We were missing a couple last week, but we are all back together. So clockwise from top left, there's Brian Abker. Brian, welcome back, man. It's good to see you. Looking good.
Hey. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to talk some Hawks. It sucks when you miss a week, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Yeah, we're in the Richard Sherman jersey, looking good. I like it. And then we've got Steve Z.A. Smith in the top right corner. Calvin Domingo, welcome back, my friend. And then below him, of course, is Noah Boelter, DJ Squabo, looking sharp in the shirt and tie. And, of course, last but certainly not least, Seahawks Martin with the headphones right over my left shoulder. Welcome back to the show, buddy. All right, so, yeah, man. So let's get into this. Breaking news from just within the past hour. There's been a lot of buzz talking about Antonio Brown, and is the Seahawks going to come and get him? And Russell Wilson being asked, because Russell Wilson was kind of been saying we should get him. Well, I guess the suspense is kind of over, because it was just announced by Adam Schefter a few within the hour that Antonio Brown is going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a little mini reunion with Tom Brady. So for those of you who were hoping that he gets signed, well, a disappointment for you guys. But for those of you who are hoping he'd stay the heck away from Seattle, you can just wipe the sweat off your brow, because it's not happening, at least unless something changes here. But I want to start, just kind of get the reaction first, because Steezy, we'll start with you, man, because you just wrote an article, your first article with the Fan Network, and made a video about it, saying why the Seahawks should sign him. And as soon as we got that posted, bam, the breaking news that he's going to the Bucs. So I want to just get kind of your take, your reaction, sum up what was in your article and why you felt he would have been a good fit here in Seattle, man.
Yeah, kind of caught me off guard. We were in the process of uploading the video. I was in the process of emailing you the article, and then my bro just tells me, like, hey, bro, breaking news. And I'm like, what is it, AB to Seattle? He's like, nah, AB to the Bucs. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm in the process of literally sending Norb the article right now, or like the video link. And so definitely caught me off guard. I did see the initial reports that came out, I think it was a few hours ago, where Ian Rappaport broke the news that AB they were looking to get a deal done. But I kind of just told myself, like, you know what, like, I'm not going to believe anything until I see it actually happen. And so I was still kind of holding out hope that he would sign with the Hawks. Basically, in the article, I kind of just laid out my reason as to why I feel like he should sign with Seattle. And basically, one of the things that I said was that with our defense not having performed to its potential, if we were able to add a wideout of AB's caliber to the Seahawks, I feel like our offense, as unstoppable as it already is, would be that much better. And it wouldn't matter at that point if our defense is bad or if it's terrible, just because our offense would be able to just score points. And I think that we'd have the greatest trio wide receivers in NFL history with DK, AB, and Tyler Lockett. I understand the ramifications of his potential signing. I understand that maybe the Seahawks would take a PR hit by signing a guy like AB, given his past and his troubled off the field issues. But I just feel like with Russell Wilson, he's good friends with Russell Wilson, he's good friends with Geno Smith. I have a hard time believing that Seattle would sign him without the intention of making it known that he has to be a better man. He has to be the best version of himself if he were to sign with the Seahawks. And I understand that it hasn't worked out in the past. We've had guys like Percy Harvin, Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett kind of messed things up in the locker room, but we're in win now mode. And who knows? I get it. We're Super Bowl contenders without him, but who knows? What if our defense ends up being our Achilles heel in the playoffs? we could alleviate that concern by adding a guy like AB. And we obviously, now that he's with Tampa Bay, that's rendered irrelevant. But those are some of the things that I pointed out. I'm really disappointed. I don't know how things are going to work out in Tampa Bay. I mean, a lot of people were saying that, we don't want AB in Seattle just because he's going to cry about not getting the football. Well, what about in Tampa Bay? They have a lot more weapons than we do. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette getting healthy, Ronald Jones. The list goes, Scotty Miller. The list goes on. I don't know. I don't see this. I don't see it lasting in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I don't got too much to say. I'm disappointed.
All right, so you're obviously pro Antonio Brown. I'm gonna get Brian's take here on this. Are you in the camp with Steezy, or were you one of those saying with a cross symbol, stay the heck away from Seattle? Brian, what was your feel on this?
Yeah, I had no interest in seeing them sign Antonio Brown. Steezy, I read your article. I thought it was a good article, and I certainly respect your opinion and your points without question. But I've seen this time and time again. The Seahawks have learned from their lesson. They went out and got Percy Harvin when they thought he was going to be the offensive piece to put him over the hump. And all Percy Harvin did was upset that locker room and cause issues. Fortunately, that team was so strong that nothing was able to break it down. But he was one of the reasons that they kind of started looking at, okay, we've got to make sure that we get a complete buy-in from the players we bring here. And you mentioned Richard Sherman and Bennett and Earl Thomas. And all those guys aren't with the Seahawks because it wasn't like they couldn't play or they couldn't have found their niche still here in Seattle. It's because they were not buying into Pete and John and everything else that was going in the locker room. And Antonio Brown has that blow-up capability. I'm sure when he first came in, because he and Russ do have a friendship off the field, that they would be, in the honeymoon phase. But at any moment in time, Antonio Brown could blow things up. And if he was the one single piece you felt that could put them over the hump to go to and win a Super Bowl, then I'd say, okay, it's worth taking a look at. But he's not. We all know that the focus needs to be on defense. I'm disappointed they didn't have enough trade bait to go get Ngakoue from Minnesota. But I was relieved that Antonio Brown's not here. And you watch what happens in Tampa Bay. I bet you Mike Evans and the gang over time are not going to be happy when their touches are diminished.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now we get to watch from afar to see how does the Antonio Brown experiment happen in Tampa Bay. Another team which has Super Bowl aspirations of their own. And we'll have to see how that goes. And I'm sure Tom Brady's excited. I think it was noted that he has been trying to get him here as well, just like it's been documented that Russell Wilson was trying to get him here. But so obviously the quarterback sees something that they think could work it out. Now, going back to our other panelists here, let's go to Seahawks Martin. Were you disappointed or happy to hear the breaking news that he was not coming to Seattle?
I was stoked, okay? I do not want Antonio Brown taking a step in our locker room. We already have Tyler Lockett, we already have DK Metcalf, we already have David Moore who's been solid, and we see the rookie Freddie Swain doing a little bit more too, right? We don't need another guy like AB. Look, some people could make an argument that, yeah, he's going to bring a lot of talent to our team. I can respect you there. But like Brian said, he's the type of guy who could just blow up the entire locker room, and he could just end up influencing more Metcalf, the other rookies. You never know. And then those guys could become bad people too. You don't want that happening, especially in the Seahawks locker room. We already have enough talent. We already have a good chemistry with Russ. We don't need another guy like AB. I'm very happy he's not going to take a step in our locker room, even though he has a good friendship with Russ.
All right, so we got 2-1. Happy that he's not coming to Seattle. Where does Noah stand on this? Does he even it up, or is he make it a unanimous or 3-1 not having him here? Noah, what's your take?
Calvin, bro, you know I love you, bro, but I'm sorry, it's 3-1 against AB. If I were the Seattle Seahawks GM, which we all know one day I will be, essentially, I would not go after and make this AB signing because it's not the greatest fit in Seattle. And the risk to me is bigger than the reward. The reward is we bring in AB. We have an additional deep threat to our offense, but the problem is he's not a great fit for our wide receiving core in the modern era. You look at the modern era of Seahawks wide receivers that have been successful. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Doug Baldwin. These are guys that don't care how many catches they get. These are guys that are block first wide receivers. These are guys that are willing to do anything to help the team win. Antonio Brown left 3 teams for personal reasons, essentially being the bottom line and off the field stuff, which is not what Seattle is about. The risk by bringing in Antonio Brown, we could potentially derail our best team since winning a Super Bowl. We literally have the best start in franchise history. We don't have to go out and risk everything to bring in this guy that has a chance to run our locker room. We brought in guys like that. You talk about Percy Harvin, the Golden Tates of the world, the guys that ruin our locker room that we have to get rid of. Antonio Brown would have been that guy eventually. How he's going to work in Tampa Bay, we'll see how that works out. They got a lot of heads down there, and they seem to think that they can make a car by just putting all the pieces in the same room. Like, we'll see if that really ends up working out. It all depends on the mechanics behind it and whoever's building this from the inside out. So, obviously, we didn't get him in Seattle, and I'm okay with that.
All right, so sorry, Steezy, you're outnumbered here, but as it turns out, it seems like, well, most of Seattle must have felt the same way, including the Seahawks, because whatever they did, or whether they had any control over that or not, AB ended up going to the Buccaneers, and we'll definitely watch to see what happens there. For me personally, I kind of swayed from the time there was even conversation about this months ago. In the beginning, I said, hell no, don't let this guy near our locker room. And then at a certain point, I started looking a little more carefully at it and thinking, you know what? Since he's going to be suspended for 8 games, by the time we get to that point, or 8 weeks, by the time we get to week 8, we would have established this offensive cohesion between Russell and the receiving core. And look, we're 5-0, doing great. Nothing really to complain about our offense. It's been really gelling. So I thought, really, because of that prediction, the only way I would take Antonio Brown is if he basically was not there in the beginning. Let the offense gel, get to a point where he comes in from the outside and they go, okay, we've got our club here. We'll allow you to be a member for a second here, AB. But if you step out of line one time, we're done. So to me, he was like the end. He was like we're the sundae, and he was like the cherry on top. You don't need it. It's a nice extra little treat, but we're just fine without him. So I thought this could be that little extra little gimmicky piece that could be added in there. So I wasn't crazy wanting him there, but I also wasn't too, like, we have to have him or we're in trouble. It was like, take him or leave him. And if he steps out of line, that's fine. We got plenty of guys to go. So as it turns out, we won't have to worry about that. But I was 50.5 okay with him being signed. So I was just to the right of being okay with it. So we'll see what happens. But I think the main thing is we still got a couple guys who haven't even stepped on the field yet. Philip Dorsett, Josh Gordon. We don't know when they're going to step on the field because Josh Gordon's still in detention, held there by the commissioner. And then we've got Philip Dorsett, who's one of the speediest guys, former Patriot, who apparently can burn up the field, but right now he's just burning a hole in the bench because he can't get on the field because of this foot thing that he just has not been able to get past. So hopefully one of those two guys can get on the field because it'd be nice to have just another option for Russell to throw to. But for right now, we're going to have to roll with what we got. So, Brian?
One other side note that we've all kind of missed on is that we've got a tight end that looks like could be returning to the lineup that's 6'7" out of Stanford. And that's going to be another weapon that Russ is going to have to try to work into the fold over time as he recovers from injury. I don't know exactly when he's going to be back or added to the 53-man, but Pete Carroll seems pretty stoked. Not that he's not stoked about everything in life, but he seems pretty excited about this kid.
Yeah, you're talking about, what was his name? Is it Cody something?
Yeah.
You guys
would think that I could remember.
Colby Parkinson. Yes, really big dude. Colby Parkinson. Yeah. I remember when we first drafted him, I was like, what, a tight end? And then you look at his numbers, it's like, dang, this guy's big. This guy's got good hands. Fits right in with the tight end crew that we got. But, man, let's talk about another, like you said, a crowded room that we've already got a lot of people at tight end. But, again, this offense doesn't need much because it's kind of firing all cylinders. So let's talk about the other side. Now, I think we can put the Antonio Brown issue to rest. But Noah, you brought this up before the show, and you said, and I got excited about this, and yet I see mixed reactions from a lot of fans out there. The return of Michael Kendricks. He was signed to the practice squad. It's kind of like in the same way that Snacks Harrison was. They kind of sign him, bring him on, get him to the practice squad, let him get a chance to acclimate and set up for an eventual, hopefully, return to the field. You brought it up, Noah, so I want to get your take on it because a lot of people don't seem, I don't know why, but some people don't seem to be as high on him. I thought he played great while he was here, and it was a shame that he tore his ACL. It wasn't ACL, wasn't it? That knocked him out of the season last year? I believe it was an ACL. So
yeah, it was.
Yeah. So Noah, why don't you start first? Because you said you brought that up. I assume you like the move, unless you have a different take on it.
I absolutely love it. We just lost our left outside linebacker for the year in Bruce Irvin, and now we have a guy that can come in and replace him that already knows the system in an offseason where we didn't have training camp anyways. So to bring him into our roster where social distancing is still used at practice, a guy that already knows the system, already knows what to do, was successful in it, made huge plays at huge times and huge games for Seattle. And a consistent guy at that. He's a tackler. He hits hard. He's a Seattle locker room guy. I understand he's still on the books for what he got in trouble for, insider trading, but that's not until January, and we're going to have him for a while. We absolutely needed help on defense. This is the type of signing that you can't underestimate. This is Clay Matthews, but knows the system already. This is an efficient guy that's going to be good with Seattle, that's been good with Seattle in the past. This is an excellent signing on the fly during the season.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too. And this court case of his, talk about being pushed back. I mean, how many years has he been waiting for this? He's been found guilty already, and they just keep pushing the sentencing back and back and back. He's been free man for like the past 2 years waiting for this sentence. I don't know how this system works, but let's go to you, Cal. What's your thought? Did you like this move, bringing Kendricks back?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, one of the things that I felt like was a need for this defense heading into the season was athleticism. Just amongst the linebackers and the safeties, just because with KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner declining in that aspect, obviously in their play hasn't declined, but Jordan Brooks, he's been injured the last couple of weeks. I know that he's set to come back, but Noah kind of hit on all the points. You know, he knows the system. He brings much needed athleticism. Now when you bring in Jordan Brooks, or now that Jordan Brooks is healthy, we're kind of doubling down on that position. And there's nothing wrong with having extra depth. He can blitz from the linebacker spot. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it was a great move. There were some people on Instagram telling me that, he misses tackles and that we don't need him and all that. I simply disagree. I mean, look, he knows the system, right? I mean, I think that's going to prove valuable come playoff time. And this season, I mean, you see a whole lot of guys getting injured. I don't think it'd be wrong to kind of just stockpile on depth. And he's versatile. I mean, you can put him at many different positions on defense. He can probably play. Who knows? Maybe a little bit of a defensive end. Like I said, he's very athletic, and so you can put him in a position to succeed and watch him go to work. But as soon as he gets acclimated, as soon as he gets his conditioning right, I think that he's going to be able to provide an instant upgrade along our defense as a whole. So I love the move.
Plus, don't you guys remember that diving interception he had against the Falcons last year? He was like horizontal getting that ball across his body. So he does more than just play the backer position. He can go get it. So first, I got a shout out here to. Let's see. It was Sky High Aviation saying, "May I say it again that Noah is looking fresh." So people taking notice of your sharp dressed look there, my friend. So I had to just say that. Plus, in the super chat, King Mr. Epic, thank you for the support. So Brian, how about you? 2-0 so far. Everybody in favor of Michael Kendricks. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, 100%. I haven't seen any negative comments, so I don't know what kind of riffraff you guys are running with on social media.
Well, there's riffraff here in YouTube. People saying that he can't tackle. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Apparently
first
there's
of
this
all,
rumor
we
that
can
he can't
sit down
tackle.
and watch some film with those folks, and we can watch any linebacker in the NFL, even the best of the best, and they miss tackles. And Michael Kendricks is a position player that's not supposed to be a superstar. But the fact is, if he's getting his body in the way to slow guys down, that's part of what he does. But the biggest part of what he does is make plays. Michael Kendricks is a huge asset to this team. He's coming along at the perfect time when the Seahawks need him most. They love him in the locker room. He's a high energy, high motor guy. This is a great addition. I can't wait to see how long it takes him to really get up to full speed. We know it takes guys a while to get back into game shape, and that's part of why he's going to be on the practice squad and then eventually elevated to the 53-man once he's back in game shape and coming off that injury. But if he can get added to that 53-man roster, he's going to be a huge asset. And like Steezy said, he's versatile. You can throw him in a linebacker. You might be able to put him in at some defensive end, line him up where Irvin was, throw him in on the rush, get a little bit of speed off the edge. We talked about it from the beginning of the season. This is a defense that's going to be piecemealing things together, but they're going to be improving as the season goes on. And they have improved in certain areas each and every week. Now, they've had some setbacks because of injuries, certainly with Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks and everybody else. But I think over the next 3 weeks, you're going to see a pretty significant improvement to this defense, especially when they get Snacks Harrison into the mix. And then, if they get this linebacker going, I'm excited. I'm pumped. And by the way, they keep pushing his sentencing back because insider trading, I mean, come on, that's no big deal. They don't have room in the prisons right now for guys to who among us hasn't done insider trading? Even Martha Stewart has done insider trading. So
She did do time for that, though, of course.
Yeah, but that was back in the day when they had plenty of rooms in the prisons.
That's
But with COVID and everything, they don't got time for him.
That's true. They don't even have room in the courtrooms to see these cases. It's just it's crazy. But Martin, anything to add there? Are you going to make it a unanimous 5-0 jury here? That it's a good thing that he's back.
It's a unanimous jury here. They pretty much touched on everything I was gonna say. Like Noah Cal said, he knows our game plan. He's been with the Seahawks for since like 2018, 2017, something like that. So he's experienced. He knows how we play. He's not one of those new guys who will mess up our game like in the first 2 games and then get used to it. He's not the best player, but he is a solid guy, and that's just all we need. A solid player. Bruce Irvin was a solid player. We loved him. So I think Michael Kendricks will come in. He'll make a small impact, but good enough impact on us because we do need a guy to fill on Bruce Irvin after that tough injury.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm glad we all support that one. So that's we'll see when he can actually come back. Does anybody know, is Snacks Harrison is he going to play this weekend, or are we still waiting on him? Anybody know?
We're still waiting.
Okay.
As far as I know, I haven't seen anything recent. Have you guys?
Mm-mm.
So it's most likely not then, because I haven't seen anything saying that he's playing. So.
And who else is going to be coming back into the mix at some point is DJ Reed, who is a pretty darn good cornerback and playing the nickel, is a playmaker, is a ball hawk, coming off a pretty serious injury. They weren't even sure that he was going to make it on the field this year, but it sounds like he's coming along nicely, and over the next few weeks could be added into the mix.
It's good considering that we losing a corner right away early in the season, and then the surprise of Ryan Neal coming in and being as good as he has. Then we got injuries to Ugo Amadi having that nagging back problem. It's good to have that depth because I think we're going to need it down the stretch. So, well, let's talk about this Cardinals game. Let's get to the meat and potatoes here. All right. So we know how big this game is. This is our first NFC West game. It's against the team that I kind of predicted was going to be the surprise team out of the NFC West, right on our heels here. This game's got huge ramifications this early in the season. I want to see how we can break this down. I guess let's just kind of get everybody's just first take before we get into real diving into the X's and O's of how we need to stop certain aspects. There's so many things to this Cardinals offense. The defense is a little bit different with Chandler Jones out. So many things to discuss. Let's just kind of get everyone's take on just the importance and magnitude of this game, starting with Steezy.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this is our first divisional game. I was actually going to ask, do you guys know if Jamal Adams is going to play? Because I know he hasn't practiced all week. And so
He's out. He's out for this week.
Sucks. He's out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not as scared as I was before the season. Obviously, we all had Arizona as a sleeper in the NFC. And I know Arizona's 4-2, but they haven't looked as impressive as their record. Look, I understand they blew out Dallas 38-10, but I mean, come on, that was a Dak-less Cowboys team that has the worst defense in all of football. I'm really not as worried. Look, Kenyon Drake, he had one good game, but their running game has struggled all year. The running game is only Kyler Murray, really. DeAndre Hopkins, he had 73 yards in that game against the Cowboys, but on 2 catches, 9 targets. Kyler Murray only completed 9 passes out of 24 attempts, and so he's had some struggles with accuracy this entire season. I don't think he has as much of a rapport with his other receivers as he does with DeAndre Hopkins. It seems like DeAndre Hopkins is really the only guy he seems to target. But one of the reasons why I'm not as scared of this team is just because outside of Hopkins, who are the threats on this team? Christian Kirk had himself a game last week, but other than that, he hasn't done anything this season. Larry Fitzgerald is way too old. Kenyon Drake, I think he's overrated. Chase Edmonds, there's no threats on this team. Kyler Murray running the football, yeah, but I think we tend to do a real solid job of containing mobile quarterbacks. We have a whole bunch of athletic linebackers that could hopefully contain him. And, I'm not going to predict a blowout, but I don't think we're going to struggle in this game as a lot of people originally projected. We're not giving out scores here, are we?
No, what was that last part?
We're not giving out scores yet, are we?
Oh, we definitely got to give out scores. Not yet, though. That's at the end.
Okay.
That's at the end. Save it. Well, I got to start drinking some of your Kool-Aid, man, because I'm thinking, are we talking about the same team? Because I'm really worried here. And you seem to be like, oh, this guy, no big deal. Kyler Murray, no big deal. Dalvin Hopkins, no big deal. Am I the only one who's worried about this game? Brian, tell me, am I crazy, or has everybody got this load of confidence that I'm somehow missing during this week? Tell me that, am I wrong?
I'm not going to downplay that Arizona's up and coming. Like you guys have said, we all kind of said they could be a sleeper. They do have some weapons. Kyler Murray is special, but I think you might be a little crazy, Norb, if you're really worried about Arizona. First of all, if you think Russell Wilson is going to let Kyler Murray outshine him in a primetime football game, you're out of your mind. You're absolutely nuts in that case. Russell Wilson's going to dominate this game, maybe more so than we've seen him dominate yet this season. And that might mean him showing that he does have some quickness, because all week I keep hearing Kyler Murray's a younger, faster Russell Wilson, and he's probably ahead of where Russ was at this point in time in his career. And maybe that's all true, but even though Russ says he ignores the noise, he doesn't. He's just a human being like the rest of us. He's going to have a huge football game. I'm not worried about this one.
Wow, 2 guys who are just like super uber confident. I need to breathe in some of the air you're breathing, or drink some of the Kool-Aid you're drinking, because I don't know. I guess I watched that Monday night game against the Cowboys, and granted, I kept having to tell myself, okay, maybe is it really the Cardinals are that good, or the Cowboys just that horrible? Maybe it's the
Cowboys have a worse defense than the Weahawks do.
The
Cowboys are garbage.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
Trash.
And they lost practically their entire offensive line. They weren't putting much of a stand there. But let's see the well-dressed Noah. Does he have a different take on it? But before you answer that, I got to address the Phoenix FN in the super chat. It says D-Hop might not play this week. He is questionable. Well, questionable is one thing, out is a whole nother. But I'm going to count that he'll be there until I see that he's not on the roster. But Noah, you worried? You just confident in these guys? What's up?
I'm not as confident as these guys. They are tripping. First of all, this is a really good football team we're going up against. Calvin, I don't remember before the season you predicting that the Cardinals were going to make the playoffs. I do believe you predicted the Falcons would. Whereas I said the Cardinals were going to make the playoffs. So I've been taking them seriously since before the year. I just thought the Niners weren't going to be this bad. Mm-hmm. I thought the Niners were going to be better than the Cardinals, worse than the Seahawks. But right now that looks more like the Rams. And we obviously have an extremely stacked division. But there's a lot of reasons to be afraid of this Cardinals offense, and not the reasons that you might think. I just dropped a video about this, and I'm dropping another one on Sunday, not on my channel, but on Cable 8, the TV station here at Wazoo. The Cardinals have a secret weapon on offense, and I'm not talking about DeAndre Hopkins, who is arguably the best wide receiver in football. I'm not talking about Kyler Murray, who was the first overall pick, is with his head coach that he's known from college, and is lighting up the league on a pace that Russell Wilson wasn't on at that point in his career. I'm not saying Russell Wilson couldn't have done it had our offense been different, but Russell Wilson just realistically wasn't playing as good at that point because of the system and whatnot. But at this point, that offense is legit, and their passing game isn't even their biggest strength. Their rushing attack has been third this year in terms of rushing yards on the season. They have the most rushing touchdowns in football. This is a run-first offense, whether you think it or not. This year, their offensive line have not been able to pass protect. They're sneakily hitting you at the run by having so many threats on the outside. DeAndre Hopkins has been an animal. Kyler Murray has been phenomenal. But it's because of the dual threat of their offense, because their offensive line can't pass block, but they can run block, and that's another great way to keep those edge rushers back for an extra second is by establishing the run. So one of my keys for Seattle in this game is we got to stop that run. If we make them one-dimensional and make Kyler Murray, like Brian said, beat Russell Wilson in a shootout, that's where Seattle is favored. But if they take the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands and out of Russell Wilson's hands, and they're handing it to Drake 25 times this game, and Edmonds, and they're just running like crazy, Seattle's going to be in some serious trouble. So they have a lot of explosiveness offensively. I say we shut down the run and we shut down the Cardinals.
See, I knew I wasn't the only one who was thinking this. I knew I wasn't crazy. Thank you, Noah, for seeing things from another perspective. Yeah, I agree. I don't like necessarily the comparison that Kyler Murray is better than Russell Wilson at this point in his career. But just from what I see right now, when you see Kyler Murray running around and you see Russell Wilson running around, he's at a whole nother speed. He's at a whole nother twitchiness level that is not what Russell Wilson can do. And Russell Wilson's great. He's mobile. It's been one of the great strengths of his game. But much like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, those two are probably the most quickest quarterbacks in the league right now, and it's going to be tough to keep up with them for sure. But we got to get Martin's take on here, because we've got basically two of the panel. We got Brian and Steezy saying, this is no big deal. We're going to destroy these. Well, not destroy, but we're going to beat these guys. Noah and me a little bit freaked out. So you are the deciding vote here. Is Seahawks Martin going to say, we're good? Don't worry about it, Norb? Or are you going to say, Norb, I'm with you, man. We got to start worrying here, and I'm going to be biting my nails for the entire 4 quarters. What you got?
I am actually a little worried. Like, I'm not too worried, but like half and half. Well, first off, this is a division game. We haven't even played anybody from the division this year. This is going to put our team to the test. And that's what worries me, because Arizona is always giving us a really good fight, no matter what. No matter if we're like, 4-0 and they're 1-3, it doesn't matter. They're always giving us a very good fight. And so, first off, you never know about DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if he's going to be playing, but he's questionable. We'll probably see. But like Noah said, their run game is one of the best. They've got Kenyon Drake, who, well, he's been on and off, but their run game they got the most touchdowns. And you saw how bad our defense covered the run game 2 weeks ago, because Alexander Madison and Dalvin Cook were just running over the defense's throats. And so I don't know if that run defense is legit. They might run it down our throats, just like the Vikings did 2 weeks ago. So that's where I'm a little worried. I'm not too worried about Kyler Murray outperforming Russell Wilson, because there's no way that's going to happen unless some miracle for the Cardinals happens. Kyler Murray, I see a lot of people say that he is prone to making like bad decisions, which is something Russell does not do. So we have to take advantage of whenever he makes those bad decisions. But overall, I'm a little worried, but I'm not too scared about how this is going to end up.
I think part of why, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and part of why I'm nervous about this game is watching how we performed against the Vikings on prime time 2 weeks ago. Now, we won that game, yes, so I'm going to, of course, celebrate. Yes, 5-0, what a finish by Seattle. But look at that first half of that game against the Vikings. If we play anything close to that level that we played in that first half, offensively and defensively, we're going to be in big trouble. And Hopefully Seattle can prevent a repeat of what happened in that first half of that game and play more like they did in the second half. But really, when you think about that game, it was the turnovers. It was that third quarter magic where we had back-to-back turnovers practically, and that gave us a 21-point run in like 2 minutes. That is why we were even in that game. That is what I'm looking at, thinking that's the latest game we have to go off of. And not to say that's going to happen, but I'm just saying we've seen some cracks in the in the game. And prime time doesn't make it not happen. Russell Wilson can have a bad day, and if the Cardinals come out defending us like they did, the Vikings just shut us down offensively. That was scary to watch in the first half. So I'm glad to finish on the right track. But I feel Brian snorting over there, steaming with frustration. He wants to say something. So come at me, man. What do you got?
All I want to say, Norb, is something that has been told to me by multiple NFL players over the years. The way a team played last week, it has absolutely zero indicator on how they're going to play a team the following week. Zero. And I know we as fans like to use that and use it to worry and use it to pump ourselves up, but I would forget absolutely everything that happened in that Vikings game, because it's going to be a different game plan. It's going to be a little bit different personnel setup. Everything's going to be different. Now, if it happens over multiple games, and it's a trend and a habit, that's a different thing. But we haven't seen the Seahawks get beat up on the run game like that before Minnesota. So that was an anomaly and a situational deal that we witnessed. So I wouldn't even use that as a measuring stick. Just my opinion.
All right. Well, I do value your opinion. So let's talk about what it's going to take for Seattle to get this win. Let's focus on the keys to the game. What do we got to do to get this? So let's go with Calvin. What are your keys to Seattle getting a victory in this game?
So my first key is let's put our best cornerback on their best receiver. Let's start having Shaquille Griffin shadow DeAndre Hopkins. We started talking about this. I think Noah brought it up a couple weeks ago. We need to start using him a little bit more in that role just to see how good he actually is, to kind of measure him against some of the other better cornerbacks in the league. He's having a career year. He has 2 more picks than he had all of last season. And so I think he's very capable, especially with DeAndre a little hobbled. I think that Shaq shouldn't have a terrible time guarding him. But one of my keys, as I mentioned earlier, outside of DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not scared of any of those other guys on the team. And so if we put our best cornerback on their best receiver and try to do what we can to take him out of the game, and I think that bodes well for our chances of winning this football game. Are we talking about all of our keys or just one of them? Are we going one by one?
We could kind of bounce around here, but why don't you let's do 3 keys each. So that's one. That's one, right?
Okay.
Shut down their best receiver. Give me 2 more.
I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing in prime time. Since PK arrived in 2010, we're an NFL best 31-7-1 in prime time football games. We don't lose in prime time. I don't remember any prime time games at the top of my head. But knock on wood. I don't remember it. I mean, yeah, no prime time games really come to mind that we've lost recently. And so I think we should just keep doing what we're doing. When the lights shine the brightest, we perform our best, especially Russell Wilson. And so keep doing what we're doing in prime time is my second key. My third key, I think we should try to light up the scoreboard early and try to increase the tempo. We're a very well-rested team. We've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Arizona's coming off a short week. They've just played this Monday night against the Cowboys, so I think that they're going to be somewhat fatigued. So I think that if we're able to score points in a hurry, up the tempo, increase the tempo, and make it so that their defenders aren't able to make substitutions, I think that also bodes well for them winning this football game.
All right, Martin, let's go to you. What are your keys for this game?
This is completely going to spoil my video for tomorrow. Yeah, first off, we gotta attack with our offense because gotta keep letting Russ cook. He's been phenomenal this year, and obviously he's an MVP front runner. 2, we gotta capitalize off of their mistakes. Look, sometimes Kyler Murray can make some bad moves. We got to take advantage of that. If he throws it awfully, got to pick that off. If their run game, if they accidentally lose the ball, pick it up. Just take advantage of their mistakes, and that will help our offense score. Third, win the turnover battle. I'm pretty sure we did win the turnover battle 2 weeks ago. So I want us to keep doing that. And if we do, that could just be a win right there. So turnover battle, we always capitalize on that. So keep going with that.
Brian, your keys to the game.
Yeah, I think a quarterback's best friend is a good run game. So we need to see Chris Carson, Travis Homer, maybe a little DJ Dallas really pound that rock, beat up the defense, open things up for Russ to do his thing, allow him to not only be able to throw downfield, but I'd love to see Russ run like designated run plays, a couple here and there, just to get that defense thinking. Number two, it's the takeaway game. Listen, DeAndre Hopkins can have 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Have at it, DeAndre. That's fine. But the Seahawks need to create turnovers. They need 2+ turnovers in this game. And number 3 is Russ. I mean, Russ just needs to do what he does. And basically, I wanted to say all they had to do is get on the bus and show up at the game, but I know it's going to be just a little bit more difficult than that.
My gosh. Okay. All right, Noah, bring some sense back to this, some rational thinking. Brian's going off a little deep there. Noah, the keys to the game.
Jeez, man, I feel like I have to almost even out the karma. It's like, when you're if you're at the airport and you see someone, buying a book that says they don't believe in God, you gotta figure out what flight they're on, see if we're on the same flight. You gotta even out this karma. I gotta go buy 3 Bibles to even that out. And with you guys, we're rooting for the same team here, guys. So I have to talk sense into you because you're hyping up Seattle against a team that just blew someone out on primetime. So obviously they're turning up. My keys for the game. In order to beat Arizona, we have to make them one-dimensional by being two-dimensional. And I agree with Brian. Looking at this defense, they're 17th in pass yards allowed and pass touchdowns allowed. In terms of rush defense, yards allowed, they are 15th. But rushing touchdowns, aka red zone runs, they're 28th. So I'm looking for Chris Carson to get a lot of carries in the red zone, pounded down their throat. The NFC West is about being physical. They're 28th in rush touchdowns allowed. So I want to see us pounded down their throat offensively. Defensively, I already said I want to see us stop their run game because it's so prominent, so strong. It is the strength of their offense right now. And with those being the first 2 keys, it naturally leads to my third key, being we need to jump out and get the lead in this game. We cannot play from behind, because if we are playing from behind, they still have the ability to run the football and pass the football. That leaves them dual threat. If we have the lead early, we're the ones in the driver's seat. We're the ones controlling the clock. We're the ones that can run the football or pass it because we have the lead and we can try things out, whereas them will be behind and trailing, and that makes them one-dimensional. So my 3 keys for this game: we have to stop the run, we have to run the ball, and in order to do that, we have to jump out into the lead.
Thank you. I feel better now. Somebody with some, a sense of urgency here that we can't just get off the bus, show up, and we'll win the game. So, so my keys to this game are very similar. I think you guys all touched on really important points in some degree, one variation of another. So for me, I do feel like this is a game where Russ is going to cook, but I think we also got to simmer that run game. I do believe that we got to balance the attack. We got to run the ball. I think part of the key of keeping the best part of the Cardinals off the field is to keep their offense off the field. So the more we can run the ball, control the clock a little bit, air it out as necessary. But if we get Carson going, just pounding that rock, and like you said, scoring in the red zone to convert on touchdowns when we get within the 20s, I think that's going to be key. And then I think that's my first key is running the ball. Number 2, we've got to contain, or I should say, just minimize the damage from Kyler Murray. And I mean that from 2 fronts. From the running standpoint, he's going to run. He's going to get his yards. But we just don't want him to get big, massive chunk yards, and definitely nothing getting behind us. And that's the same thing with throwing the ball. Seattle, I think after Jamal Adams went down, you could see that they adjusted their defense. They were giving up all those long passes after the Dallas game and against the Dolphins and against the Vikings. They didn't allow those big big passes through the air, and I don't think that's even Kyler Murray's strength, really. He did throw a couple like that against the Cowboys, but that's because they suck. And Kyler Murray missed on a bunch of those long throws, and it wasn't until later when he had some wide open receivers that they finally did hit the jackpot down the field. So I feel like we're going to be okay on the pass defense, so it's just got to be containing Kyler Murray. Don't let him get out of control, whether it be running or throwing the ball. And then finally, you guys have all said it, turnovers, man. I believe that every single game that we've won has become we have won the turnover battle. We have won the turnover battle in every single game that we've had. That's why we are 5-0, because every single one of those turnovers, sometimes we only won it by one, but we needed that one turnover to get that one score that put us ahead just enough to get the victory. So I think turnovers are going to be huge here. We just got to stay on top of it. If we turn over the ball, or if they turn over it once, we got to turn it over 0 times. If they turn it over 3, we just got to be 2, preferably none. But as long as we're 1 less than them, minimum in the turnover game, I think that will be the key to winning this game. So, all right, I feel kind of okay now. I feel okay. I appreciate whiffing a little bit of your guys' positive optimism going in here, but I'm glad
it's not optimism for me, Norb. I'm going to remind you of something. 2017, 2018, and 2019, I predicted the Seahawks record correctly every single year. I predicted their playoff situation correctly every single year. I've only missed 2 games in those 3 years. And I'm not some great predictor. I've just seen the Seahawks franchise under Pete Carroll so often. It's almost like you can see it ahead of time. Every situation, I can almost tell you which games that they should win, that they're going to tank. And I always say the opposite because I'm such a fan and such a homer. I want them to win. It's hard for me to ever say the Seahawks are going to lose. But in my early preseason predictions, I always put out the record and which games are going to win and lose. I've only missed 2 over the last 3 years. Wow. So after this game, you can apologize to me for saying that I'm crazy and too out of my mind homerish.
I'll be happy to apologize to be wrong, and we had like a major blowout. So are you still telling me that you predicted that the Seahawks would lose to the Cardinals at home last year?
Yes.
Okay. Are we going to sweep the Cardinals? So have you already laid out the prediction for this year?
I have.
You have. You haven't shared that with us. I guess you're trying to...
No, we haven't done anything like that. Don't
true.
forget, I joined you guys late. So I don't know if you did that at the beginning of the season or not, but I wasn't here for it.
Boy, I don't know if I want to know. It's almost like going to a fortune teller and saying, hey, am I going to be happy, live a long life? I don't know if I want to know all the information. I maybe just want to know for now. But so, based on your prediction, you thought we would be 5-0 going against the Cardinals.
Absolutely. Thought we'd be 6-0. And then I thought going into the 49er game, which the 49ers, I believe, were 6-0 last year when we went down there and beat them when they were missing a couple players. I thought that would be the other matchup, and we would probably end up losing that game to the 49ers. And I still kind of think that. Even though the 49ers haven't looked like they did last year, they are definitely up and coming. They still got pieces, and they still scare me.
All right. Well, I hope you're right for all of our sakes. I hope you are correct and that your streak goes on. So I got to ask you, which 2 games were you wrong about then over the last 3 years?
The Pittsburgh Steelers, I thought we were going to lose to them when we went to Pitt.
As did I.
And the other one was a Rams game. It was 2018. Was it 2018? I thought we were going to win.
Was that down in LA? Was that in LA? Was that in LA?
I think that was an LA game. I actually have it written down somewhere, not around me, but I can tell you specifically.
That feels like that game where Russell was pushing to get a comeback win, and I think he just threw a ball incomplete, and the comeback fell short. Wasn't that it? It feels like that. That's the one.
If that was 2018, then probably.
All right.
I got to look on my list.
It was probably the year where we could have gone 8-0 on the road. Like, I was pretty confident in that one, and that's what. So was it last year? Or?
Yeah, Martin's got it.
It was 2018 , I believe.
I think
I don't know for sure now. It's been a while, but I have to go back and look. But those are the 2. It was the Rams and the Steelers that I flip-flopped and didn't get them right.
Okay, let's do our score predictions because I do have to end this show before 6:30. We got trivia to do, so we have to pick up the tempo, like Russell's got to do occasionally in this game. But not too much. Okay, let's just go around the horn, starting with you, Brian, since you're the great prognosticator. What's the score going to be of this game?
Now, I'm not super great on score prognosticating, so I never claim to do that, but I do the wins and losses. But in this game, I think it's going to be 32-24 Seahawks. 32-24.
Okay. Steezy.
I'm going to say 33-25 to 06.
All right. Let's go to Noah.
33-27.
All right.
Hawks.
Yeah, of course. Martin.
34-28 Hawks.
All right, and so for me, my final score of the Seahawks Cardinals game this Sunday, as I predicted in my music prediction video, 31-27. I made no adjustments this time for inflation or nothing, just straight up 31-27, sticking with that one. All right, well, we'll see what happens. You guys get the chat. You guys can put your own score predictions and see. We'll see who gets closer. I see some of you throwing that in there already. But let's go. The reason I got to rush this is because I have a follow-up call with Mama Blue, the beloved Mama Blue, who's, as you know, is fighting pancreatic cancer. She has been undergoing treatment, chemo and radiation therapy this week, and I'm calling her because I'm going to find out and have her speak directly to the people to let everybody know how she's doing. So that's the reason why I'm going to be jumping off to get to her. So anyway, I'm excited to talk to you about that. Let's do this. Let's go to the trivia. Get your Kahoot app and Kahoot.com ready because it's game time. It's game time right now. Let's go. The number is, and by the way, this is, the number is 181-110. 181-110. I want to say I did get some help. On putting this one together from, what's his name? Something 23. Oh, shoot, I suddenly just blanked on his name. He sent me his trivia. I had to make some modifications, though, because there was a lot of questions that didn't quite work. I had to make some adjustments, customize it a little bit, customize it for this particular week with what was going on. So, but I do appreciate him sending over the trivia. It made my life a little easier to not have to start from scratch. So let's get you all in here. 30 seconds to get the rest of the players. We got 24 in here right now. We got the Lugman. We've got, who else we got in here? Kyler is greater than Russell. What the heck? Schmilligard, Tay, Sussboy, the Lugman. I already said that. Please Hopkins out. Keegan, Philippines Carl, Let Russ Cook, Hawk Asylum, Nick LeBeau. God loves you, Norb. Thank you. That's because Noah brought religion into this this discussion. DK Metcalf, thanks for stopping by, DK. We appreciate it. I know you're probably traveling right now, but hey, you're stopping by to do the quiz. Bebo Seahawks, Clark Wiz, 54 of you in here. Wow, we topped the scales already. We'll give you 10 more seconds. DK is GOAT. Seahawks, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are rolling. Wow, we got to almost 60 people in this one. Let's go. Joseph 23, thank you for your contributions to the trivia, and let's do this. Number 1. How old was Russell Wilson when he was drafted in 2012? 20, 23, 25, or 21? How old was Russell Wilson when he was drafted in 2012? 20, 23, 25, or 21? How much time did I give him on this timer? This is a long timer. He must have set the timer for a longer period. Anyway, 20, 23, 25, 21. You have 4 seconds. 3, 2, and time is up. Oh, YouTube all over it. Yes, Russell was 23. 32 of you got that right in the YouTube side of things. Let's go to our panel right now and find out how we all did on this one. Calvin, starting with you.
I said 23 because I know that right now he's 31 years old, and so I did 2020 minus 8 to 2012, which is when he was drafted, and so 31 minus 8 is 23.
All right, Calvin knows his math. He could do subtraction and addition. He got it right. He's on the board, red hot. Noah.
It's similar with the whole math thing. I got to 23.
All right, Brian.
Yep, same thing. I'm not a math whiz, but I can do that math.
Martin.
Oh man, I didn't even need to think twice. 23.
All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. Easy one to start off the thing here. Let's go. So we got Juice with an S, Juice Joyce in first, Ben in second, Fat Kid in third, DK Metcalf in fourth, and the KC Sports Nerd in fifth. Let's go to the next question. Question number 2. Who is the oldest player in the NFL? Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Adam Vinatieri, or Aaron Rodgers? Who is the oldest player in the NFL? Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Adam Vinatieri, or Aaron Rodgers? He put a long time limit on this one. You got 10 more seconds. Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Adam Vinatieri, or Aaron Rodgers? Who is the oldest player in the NFL? Time is up. Oh, YouTube on point. 37 of you guessed Adam Vinatieri, which was the correct answer. Let's go to this. Let's go to the YouTube score. I did not fact check this, so I'm trusting that my friend here got this correct. Let's go with Calvin. Did you guess this correct?
Well, I said Tom Brady because Vinatieri, didn't he retire? Like
Bingo. He's not in the league right now.
He's not in the league right now, yeah.
Oh. Well, that gets. I guess in that technicality, then so he would, if he was in the league, he'd be the oldest player, right?
Yes.
All right, well, but since you know that, I'll give you credit because you know your information. So I'm going to give you that one. Noah, given that same guideline, what's your answer?
No, I was like trying to think. I'm like, I thought Vinatieri was out the league. So I say TB12. I thought it was a trick question because he was out.
Okay, so given that, and I didn't specify not in the league, I'm going to give you guys credit for that one. Brian, same thing for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Martin, how about you?
Okay, so I wasn't sure. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he retired, but I just decided to go with Vinatieri. So I hope I'm guessing I got that wrong.
Well, I'm going to give you credit because the question wasn't well explained. So I'm going to give you guys credit. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't get that leniency, so you're just going to have to live with what the answer is. So, but 37 of you got that wrong answer correct. So I guess not everybody's off the rocker. So let's go to the scoreboard. Juice Joyce is in first. Fat Kid moves up to second. Dangerous for MVP in third. Go Pack Go in fourth. And Clark Wiz in fifth. Next question. Number 3. What happened to the Arena Football League? They filed for bankruptcy. They temporarily closed but will resume next season. They closed due to COVID-19. They were acquired by a Chinese media conglomerate. What happened to the Arena Football League? Filed for bankruptcy, temporary close, but will be resumed next season. They closed due to COVID-19, or they were acquired by a Chinese media conglomerate. What happened to the Arena Football League? You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. And YouTube all over it. Yes, it was. They filed for bankruptcy. 34 of you got that one correct. We don't talk about the Arena Football League very much, but you guys might be on this anyway. Calvin.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was thinking about the XFL, and so I said that they closed because of COVID.
Oh no, Calvin mixed leagues up. So Calvin, the first one to miss so far. Noah.
I had no idea, and so I looked at the 4 options, and I was like, I was gonna start psychoanalyzing, but I'm like, I don't know who wrote this question, so I just went with the most realistic option. They filed for bankruptcy.
Ding! You got that one right. And by the way, it was sort of a half written by both of us because it was originally written by Joseph 23, and then I modified it. I added that part about the conglomerate thing. So, Brian, what you got?
Filed for bankruptcy. I had a couple really close ties in Arena League. One of my best friends from high school was the all-time leading scorer as a kicker in the Arena League. Was in their Hall of Fame. And then my little brother in the fraternity at Wazoo, Aaron Garcia, is a Hall of Famer in the Arena League as well.
Wow. Okay. So you know very well. So Martin, how about you?
Like Noah, I had no clue, so I just went with what was realistic. Bankruptcy. It just seemed most realistic to me.
All right. Good process of elimination. So let's go to the scoreboard. Let's see how the scores change there after this question. Juice Joyce still in first. Dangerous for MVP to second. Go Pack Go moving up to third. Fat Kid in fourth. And Dakards Stank in fifth place. These names are awesome, by the way. Next question. Number 4. The Seahawks almost relocated to which city in 1996? San Diego, Detroit, Los Angeles, or Miami? Seahawks almost relocated to which city in 1996? San Diego, Detroit, Los Angeles, or Miami? We could have been the San Diego Seahawks, or the Detroit Seahawks, the Los Angeles Seahawks, or the Miami Seahawks. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Okay. YouTube doing pretty well here. Yes, the answer was Los Angeles. 31 of you guys on YouTube got that correct. You guys should know, because if you know my buddy Mark Collins, he led the Save Our Seahawks movement back in '96, and he went down to Los Angeles to picket them in their practice field after the team had been temporarily moved there. All right, so let's go to our panel. Calvin.
I said LA. You look at all those other cities, like they all have teams, and so LA.
All right, Noah.
Well, San Diego, you 17.
Yeah, well, I was thinking back to 1996 and trying to remember what teams were in the NFL at that time. That was 3 years prior to me coming out of the womb, so I had to, really think back to my research in this field. But I remember, LA's a city where they're always adding new teams. Like, they're not afraid to have 2 teams in a city, obviously. And the other 3 teams, I'm pretty sure had teams at that time, so I did say LA.
All right, let's go to Brian.
Well, not only did I live through it, Norb, I saw this movie, this documentary called Superfan that was about Mark Collins and Save Our Seahawks group. I don't know who the genius director and producer was that put that movie together, but it was outstanding and very educational. So, of course, I said LA.
Of course you did. Martin, how about you, man?
Yeah, like Brian, I don't even know who that genius was, but he's obviously better than Spielberg. That was obviously a no-brainer. So I went with Los Angeles. I've already watched the documentary twice.
All right, well, good for you, man. Appreciate that. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Juice Joyce running away with it. Dangerous for MVP still in second. Go Pack Go in third. Fat Kid in fourth, and Lissandro Hawk moves into the top 5 at number 5. Next question. Number 5. What is Antonio Brown's high for touchdowns in a single game? Receiving touchdowns. 5, 6, 3, or 4? Antonio Brown's high for touchdowns in a single game. 5, 6, 3, or 4? Antonio Brown's high for touchdowns. 5, 6, 3, or 4. Time is up. Oh my goodness. YouTube missed it on this one. Only 8 of you got this correct. The answer is 3. Let's go to the scoreboard of a panel here. Calvin.
I was off by 1. I said 4.
Okay. Noah.
No, can I ask, were you the one that wrote that question?
Yes.
I had a feeling because when I was reading this question, I saw the 4 numbers and I flashed back to last week when we were talking about how the answer is never on the end. And I thought about it and I'm like, this is pretty, I'm going to go off that. And I literally did. I can't remember AB having a 4 touchdown game. I can remember plenty of 3 touchdown games. And I said 3.
All right, so Noah, with the psychoanalysis of the numbers, gets it right. Brian.
I went the opposite route. I put 0 thought into it and guessed 4 and got it wrong.
Oh, okay. Martin.
I was just way off. I went with 5 because I was just thinking about that one Colts game where he just went off. So, yeah, but I was way off.
All right, well, this was receiving touchdowns. All right, so let's go to the scoreboard, YouTube. Going to shake some things up here, I think. Yes! Dangerous for MVP slides to number 1. Rohan's Beard goes up to 2nd. Russ the Goat to 3rd. Juice Joyce drops to 4th. And Go Pack Go down to 5th. Next question. It's going to get tougher. Number 6. How many fans will be allowed in the stadium for the Seahawks-Cardinals game? 25% capacity, 1,000, 1,200, or 750? How many fans will be allowed in the stadium for the Seahawks-Cardinals game? 25% capacity, 1,000, 1,200, or 750? 3 seconds. Time is up. Well, actually, a lot of you thought it was 25% capacity. Interesting. But then the rest of you, 22 of you, got the 1,200 correct, which is the right answer. Martin was sitting there guffawing and going, are you kidding me? Who came up with that ridiculous question? Let's see, though, if the panel thought the same. Calvin.
I just guessed, and I said 1,200.
Good guess. Noah.
That probably would have been my 3rd guess. I was looking at 1,000 and it looked pretty handsome, but then I thought 25% capacity. What is that, like 20,000 fans? I'm like, that's pretty realistic for what some of these things are doing. So I said 25%.
Really? I thought everybody knew this one. Okay. Brian, how about you, man?
I didn't know. I guessed, and we know that this town has an affinity with the number 12, so I just went with 1,200 because I have an affinity for the number 12 as well.
This is Arizona.
I know, but I'm a 12, so I'm going to pick 12.
Okay. All right, man.
That was my logical reasoning behind my guess.
Hey, man, you're the one who's picking us to breeze through this game, so who am I to get in your way? Martin, what about you?
Yep, just like Noah. I thought it was 25% because most teams are using the 25% capacity. And then I realized after you said, I'm like, oh crap, I read that article too.
I know, and I heard you go like, I'm Martin.
No. I was doing that because I had no clue.
Oh, I thought you were doing it because it was so obvious. Okay, I take that back. My friend. All right, let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. I'm speeding things up here because I got to Mama Blue, but at the end of the hour, time is fishing. All right, here we go. Changes again. Fat Kid to number 1. Russ the Goat in second. Dangerous for MVP in third. Go Pack Go in fourth. And Lisandro Hawk back up there at number 5. Next question. Number 7. How many yards has Kyler Murray rushed for this season? 277, 219, 370, or 353? How many yards has Kyler Murray rushed for this season? 277, 219, 370, or 353? Time is up. Wow, foiled him again. Only 9 of you got this correct. The answer is 370 rushing yards. Let's go to the panel. Calvin.
Sorry about that. I said, hold on.
Which one's the right answer? No.
You need a better view? There we go.
I said 370. What was the right answer?
370 was the correct answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said 370 because I know last week he had 76. The week before that he had 81. So I just wanted to go with the high. So.
All right. Noah, more numbers for you. Did you analyze this one to death?
Did you write this one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So every week we have we are Seahawks. We have halftime adjustments. I got this one wrong, but I'm on to you. I said 277.
Fudge you. I got you. Brian, how about you, man?
I did, only because here at the home office, I have it on the NFL Network all day, and when they're talking about that game, they threw up Kyler's stats. So I would have not gotten it had I not been watching TV instead of doing my job.
There you go. Look at Brian leading the panel right now with 6 points. Calvin and Noah at 5. Martin, a chance to try to stay with the pack. What you got?
Just like that, I dropped to the bottom.
Oh, but it's not the far drop. It's only a 1 point difference.
Yeah, I went with, what was it, 270 something. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go to see what changes happen here now with this latest question. The scoreboard. Not much. Fat Kid still on top. Russ the Goat in second. Dangerous for MVP in third. Go Pack Go in fourth. And Please Hopkins out in 5th place. I like that name. Let's go to the next question. Here we go. Number 8. What is Antonio Brown's high for receiving yards in a single game? 329, 336, 291, or 284. Antonio Brown's high for receiving yards in a single game. 329, 336, 291, or 284. Time is up. Okay, YouTube back on it. Spread across the board, but 15 of you got this correct. The answer was 284. Let's go to the panel. Calvin.
I was off by 7. I said 291.
Okay, Noah, the number man.
Man, we coming out of halftime strong, baby. 284. I'm on to you.
You got it? Because clearly you don't know the answer. You just played the numbers game at this point. Is that what you're telling me?
110%.
Okay. Brian, where you got? What you got?
I guess 284 as well because it ends in 84, which is his number. I was thinking it was probably going to be 291, and then I was going to say, I outthought myself on this one, but it turns out that I went the right direction.
All right. Well, Brian's still leading the pack. Martin, how about you?
I don't know how you come up with those strategies, Brian, but yeah, I got it because earlier today I was just scrolling through YouTube and I saw NFL Throwback post Antonio Brown's record-setting 284-yard game. So I'm like, ooh, that was lucky.
Okay, so as it stands, Brian's still in the lead with 7 points. Noah in second with 6, not knowing anything but just playing the numbers analysis game. And Calvin and Martin tied in third with 5 points. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Update. Changes. Russ the Goat to first. Go Pack Go to second. Juice Joyce up to third. Rohan's Beard now into fourth. And Fat Kid drops to fifth. Lots of changes here. Let's see what happens next. Next question, number 9. Who is the NFL receiving yardage leader? DK Metcalf, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, or Robbie Anderson? Who is the NFL receiving yardage leader? DK Metcalf, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, or Robbie Anderson? I got a couple of these guys on my fantasy teams. Time is up. Oh, it's an obvious one here. I had to throw a couple obvious ones at you. Yes, it was DeAndre Hopkins leading the NFL in yards right now. 32 of you guys got this correct, but what did the panel think? Calvin? Oh, muted. Microphone. Your mic.
My bad. With 47 receptions and 601 yards, my answer was wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
He's got it. Okay, I got to worry about him this Sunday. Noah.
So I think I had heard something Sunday before the Cardinals had played. I said DK was leading the league, and then the Cardinals played, and so I said DK.
Oh no!
I believed.
Should have stayed with your. Well, you actually had no numbers to play with here this time. That's what failed you. You actually didn't have a name. Brian.
Yeah, I got it right, and I think Steezy even said at the very beginning when we were talking about the strengths of the Cardinals that DeAndre Hopkins was leading the NFL in receiving.
That's right. Good listener over there. All right, Martin, a chance to catch up and tie the guys with 6 points. What do you got?
It's funny how you said that was obvious. I was like between DK and DeAndre, but I went with DeAndre at the end.
Oh, so you got it. Okay, so we got a 3-way tie for second. Calvin, Noah, and Martin with 6 points, and Brian still in the lead with 8. But anything can happen because we're going to double Jeopardy time now. Here we go. Let's go see the scoreboard first. Oh, no change at all. Russ the Goat in first, Go Pack Go in second, Juice Joyce in third, Rohan's Beard in fourth, and Fat Kid in fifth. And now, double point time. Number 10, worth double. How many touchdowns has Kyler Murray thrown? 9, 10, 11, or 7? How many touchdowns has Kyler Murray thrown? 9, 10, 11, or 7? Numbers. 9, 10, 11, or 7. Time is up. Oh, you two, pretty good. 15 of you got the right answer, which is 10. Let's go to the panel. Calvin, you're up next. What you got?
So I was going to say 10, but the timer ran, so I was still at 9.
Oh, no. Okay, so Calvin missed what?
Yeah, nah. I said 9.
Okay, well, I appreciate your honesty, man. Noah, number man. Noah, numbers. What you got?
You threw me off with this one, man. I got to give it to you, man. You broke the system. I'm going to need a second halftime. I said 11.
Wow, so no change of the score. And by the way, I know you're analyzing my numbers, so as I'm doing my game plan, I'm already one step ahead of you, my young Padawan. Brian,
We'll see.
Brian, let's go. You got the lead. Can you extend it?
And man, I'm embarrassed to admit, man, I said 7.
Oh, man. See? You're underestimating Kyler Murray. You don't even know how many touchdowns he's thrown. You're always saying we're going to have no trouble with this guy. Oh, my God. You're making me more nervous. All right, so no points there. But Martin could tie for the lead if he gets this right. Did he?
Wait. Hold on. Martin, did you hear that? Your mom's calling you for dinner. You got to go, bruh.
Oh, he's glitching. Martin.
Okay, you guys are better now.
Okay, you're there.
Yeah, so I was in between 11 and 9 or something, and whenever I get in those situations, I just stick with whatever's in the middle, so I went with 10.
Oh, he got it right. So the double points goes to Martin. So now we got a tie for first place. Brian and Martin with 8 points each, and Calvin and Noah with 6 points each. This is going to get very interesting. Let's get to the scoreboard here.
Martin, don't you got to go play piano or something?
He did play piano on the show, by the way. Let's go to the scoreboard.
Piano in Vegas for dinner.
Juice Joyce goes to first. Rohan's Beard to second. Go Pack Go stuck in third. Russ the Goat in fourth. And You Sus Bro in fifth. First time in the top five.
Us.
Now,
Among Us.
second question.
Among Us.
Second to last question. Here we go. Double points. Number 11. Which of these running backs has the most rushing yards? Kenyon Drake, Dalvin Cook, Ronald Jones II, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Which of these running backs has the most rushing yards? Kenyon Drake, Dalvin Cook, Ronald Jones, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Again, which one has the most rushing yards? Kenyon Drake, Dalvin Cook, Jones, or Helaire? Wow. A lot of you guys saw Dalvin Cook on YouTube, but the correct answer is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Only 6 of you guys got that one correct. Let's go to the panel. Calvin?
So I said Dalvin Cook, but then I realized that Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 168 yards rushing against the Bills, but I realized too late, so Dalvin Cook.
Oh, no. Man, you're so close. You're just so close to it. Noah, no numbers to save you this time, my friend. Not that it helped you last time, but what you got?
I would tell Calvin to lock in, but I got it wrong too. I said Drake. I was thinking Cook got hurt and missed the game, and Drake just had that little garbage time touchdown to extend his lead on whatever. And so I was thinking Drake, but I was wrong.
These guys are all in the tops of the running back. The only guy left out of there was the what's his name for the Titans, Derrick Henry. Because he was running away with everything. I left him out because it's too easy. So, all right. So, Brian, what you got?
Yes, I got this one right. A lot of the conversation is you've got the leading rusher, and you're going to bring in Lev Bell. How's that going to work out? Where's he going to fit in? So that was a pretty easy one. And again, I got to attribute that to watching a lot of television.
All right, Martin, I know you got to go, but can we get you in for the last question? Martin, what'd you get on this one?
I went with Dalvin Cook and got it wrong. So,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Do you have time for the last question? Or do you have to go?
Well, I'm afraid my dad will yell at me if...
It's worth it. It's worth it, Martin.
All right, so last question. Juice Joyce in first. Ross in second. Go Pack Go in third. Rest of Go in fourth. Casey Sportster to the top 5. Last question. Let's go right here. Double points. I got to go too. My Blues waiting. Double points. Question number 12. What was Antonio Brown's 40-yard dash time? 4.47, 4.39, 4.41, or 4.29? Antonio Brown's 40-yard dash time. 4.47, 4.39, 4.41, or 4.29. Antonio Brown 40, 4.47, 4.39, 4.41, or 4.29. Oh, 12 of you guys got that one correct. It was tight though. All right, Martin, let's get your answer right now just because you got to go.
Okay.
So, Martin.
4.4. I went with 4.47.
You got it. You got it. Okay, so you could tie the game. We'll see. But Martin's got to go, and we'll just let you know what you'll see what happens when you watch the video ending. So, nice having you on here, Martin. Bye-bye. He's gone. Go check him out. His link is in the description. Seahawks Martin on YouTube. All right, so let's go back to the top now. Calvin, needless to say that the win is out of hand, so there's not much drama here. But let's just see if you can finish strong. What'd you got?
Finish strong, I did. I said 4.47, and if it was a 4.29 or a 4.39, he would have been drafted in the first round. But there was a reason why he slipped to the fifth, and one of the reasons why is because he ran a 4.47.
Good logic. Noah, to not be in the basement, you could tie Calvin for third here.
It's actually kind of warm down here. I'm kind of comfy. I knew it was in the fours, like 4.4s, but I said 4.41.
Oh my goodness, Noah! He thought he had it all figured out, and look where it got him. Last place. So Brian, the pressure comes down to you, my friend. You could be tied with Martin, or you could win it right here with this very obscure question about a 4:40 time here. What do you got?
Well, I knew for sure it wasn't a 4.29. I was pretty certain it wasn't a 4.39. If it wasn't a 4.39, it wasn't going to be a 4.41 because most guys that run a 4.41 say that they hit a 4.39. So I got it right.
Hey, Brian got it. Brian with 12 points to win the panel. Nice job, man. So that puts Martin in second place with 10, Calvin in third with 8, and Noah at the bottom with 6. All right, well, that was great. So let's go see the final winner of the YouTube Kahoot score. Let's find out who the winner is. In third place with 8,644 is Russ the Goat. 10 out of 12 answers correct. In second, Go Pack Go with 9 out of 12 correct. And in first place with 8765, 9 out of 12 correct answers is Rohan's Beard. Rohan's Beard gets the first place with Yusuf Bro and Ben, the runners-up. Congratulations, Rohan's Beard. Take a screenshot of that picture right there of that win and send it to me over here at norbcam.com, and we will work out something with you on a future fan panel or some merch. All right, well, we got to wrap things up because Mama Blue is waiting right now. So, but just before we do, I want to first thank my panel, of course, of here on Seahawks Martin already had to go, but let's work our way around the horn. Brian, we'll start with you. They can reach you at Abker, but go ahead and just tell them a little bit more about you before we sign off.
Yeah, you can catch me at Abker on Twitter. I don't do a whole lot media-wise, so you're better off following Noah or Steezy or Norb for your entertainment and sports information. All right, at Abker. You will tweet every once in a while. Go check it out. All right, let's go to the bottom right. Noah, go tell them about you.
Yo, DJ Squabble in his house. I talk sports. I'm a huge Seahawks fan. I also go to Washington State University currently, and I'm doing work for the radio station KUGR and for the TV station Cable 8. So all those links are in my description, but in order to find the description, you got to go to my channel at DJ Squabble.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we've got Steezy A. Smith. Go tell the audience about yourself, man, where they can find you.
Yeah, so it's Steezy A. Smith in the building. Be sure to show everybody here some love before you show me some love. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Steezy A. Smith. And I know it's probably not as relevant anymore, but just before the stream, I dropped a video explaining why I believe that AB should have signed with Seattle. We're dropping our 3 keys to the victory versus the Cardinals tonight, so be on the lookout for that. And we also have a World Series video coming up as well. So a whole lot of content coming up in the next couple of days. Be sure to tune in, show us some love. And
Is it? All right. Well, thank you guys. So my panel, love having you guys on here. That was great. Glad we could talk about all this. And of course, I want to thank you, the viewing audience, for everybody who was in the chat, who super chatted, especially for your support. Thank you. And for everybody who's just here watching just to get a little Seahawks fix and listen to us talk about all this stuff. It's been a lot of fun. So enjoy the rest of your weekend and Sunday Night Football, baby. Seahawks Cardinals. Come join me on my live stream. Me and my dad will be watching the game, reacting, so you can join in on the fun during the game if you want to get some NorbCam action during the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Go Hawks.